are.
We're live.
Now we are live. Live we are, so we are. We're live. Ted's live too, aren't you, Ted? Yes, I'm alive. Anyways, enough silliness for one day already. Goodness gracious, it's already silliness, and it's 7 a.m. here in Pimbatia.
Where's the music?
Well, I'm still working on sorting out the full range of experience for y'all. I've had to move my studio out of the house because we've had to accommodate extra family members here in line with looking after everybody that's here in the way they have become accustomed and need to be. So I'm actually sat talking to you, Stephen, from outside the house in a metal box in the yard.
Yeah. Best place for you.
Not exactly best place, and Ted as well. Keeps him under control.
Yes.
But also, as a result of that, I'm having to use AI to make my audio remotely acceptable for broadcast, because you can imagine sitting inside a metal box with the effects that a metal box has. And I have fans running, like CPUs and computers and things running that are normally separated by a wall and a door and stuff. So I'm having to take all of that noise out with an AI, and as a result of that, it also destroys any of the sound effects on the mixing board. So I'm having to do that. But I'll get to that when I get to it. I'm a very busy man, you know.
You are, yes.
So
well,
there it is.
So do you think that is a good use of AI? Do you know, because that's the first practical, positive sounding thing I've heard.
Yes, it is. I think that's the kind of thing AI should be used for doing things like audio, you know, fixing up audio that needs fixing up. I don't know about putting me in a bikini.
That's not a good idea.
To see that. No, I don't think anybody wants to see that. Ted in a bikini, can you imagine that? Goodness.
No, I don't even want to try to imagine that.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think, have you seen this? I think his name's Father Phil, PHI, and he experiments with AI. He puts on the audio and uses the camera and asks it simple questions like, I want to, should I walk to the car wash? It's only 100 meters away. Or do I need to take my car? You know, all that sort of stuff. And
it says you should walk.
Yeah, it's just brilliant, really. I think simple things like that it can't do, and yet complex things it can do. So
right, AI is monumentally stupid. It does what it's told to do, no more and no less. Anyone that thinks AI is a thinking entity or able to be self-aware is kidding yourself at this stage. No. I'll give you an example. There is an AI program that Mr. Musk uses and promotes, and in his company it's called Grok. What does Grok do when people ask it, you know, is this correct, Grok? Is that correct, Grok? Is the other thing correct, Grok? Whatever. What it does is it surfs its way quickly through what opinions people have said without critically assessing those opinions at all. And it mindlessly spews the accepted narrative. And then when it's challenged on being nothing more than mindlessly espousing accepted narrative that is actually demonstrably fallacious, it's rude, it's arrogant.
Can I confirm something? Are we talking AI or Lane Norton? Sorry, I'm just
yeah, exactly. Yes. Anyways, so it's rude, it's arrogant, it's pompous. It doesn't think, it doesn't critically assess anything. It's a waste of time for that sort of thing. But it's awesome if you want to sort out dirty audio, or indeed put yellow Ted in a bikini.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Is that because it's dealing with very objective levels or frequencies that it can easily work with? Or
well, I mean, that's it, because at the end of the day, there is no real interpretation or critical interpretation required to sort out an audio stream. What it does with and this is not Grok that's doing my audio, by the way, this is the audio. I'm actually using the NVIDIA broadcast software, which uses my GPU card as its base of operations. What it does is it reads the audio feed in real time.
Yeah.
When I'm not speaking, it samples what it's hearing, and then it subtracts that when I do speak, leaving my voice behind, and then it analyzes what's left, and it says if that's a bit chunky, if that's because bits have been chopped out of it, it artificially puts frequencies back in to make it sound more realistic or more natural.
Yeah,
which is awesome because it doesn't have to think about it really. It doesn't have to interpret anything. It doesn't have to read a paper and see whether that paper is good, had a good methodology, etc., etc. If you ask it about science, what it will do is read with the opinions of others and repeat those.
Yeah, doesn't think.
It doesn't think. It cannot think. It's nowhere near being able to think or be self-aware, and it certainly isn't going to launch any attacks on Iran. Unlike other artificial intelligences that have this week launched quite some offensive on Iran.
Yeah, I think there's a software aggregate sort of machine on the line where I think it's called Ground News or something, where you can get it aggregates all the news and it shows you whether it's right leaning, left leaning, and that sort of thing, so you can see whether it's fair. That's quite good. And just interesting, you've given me a food for thought, because on my Substacks I've started to add a voiceover. So I write my article and then at the end I can put a voiceover and then I just read the article, and I can get AI to do it, but I choose not to. So when I mess up a little bit, I leave it in. So every single time, and I don't do it deliberately, I try to not make mistakes, but I might make a little stumble or mispronounce something. And I'll say, oh, by the way, I've left that in to prove that this isn't AI. I'm really reading this in real time. And everybody so far that has commented has said, I much prefer it. And
yes, me too. There has become an absolute dirge of late of videos on YouTube, which is where I watch most of my material, of AI voice-over generated videos with AI generated visuals as well. I can only do it for so long. There is no way these AI voices sound natural. I find it offensive in the extreme, personally. Even if the content is good, even if what's being said is good, it pisses me off to the point where I just have to click off that video. And then what I usually do is immediately click do not suggest that channel again. Yes,
absolutely.
I think there has to be ramifications for people who cannot be asked to do their own fucking work, frankly.
Absolutely, yes. Because there is software out there where I could speak into it and then it could do an approximate of my voice, but it can't do an approximate of the being able to actually read it with any understanding. That's the thing. So
correct. No, it can't.
But your thing about audio as well. So I listened back. Now I am deaf, but I can also listen to other people, and their sound when they use AI seems to be better. So I might look at doing my voice, but running it through AI to improve the quality of the sounder. So that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you for that.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know if this will actually work or not, but if I turn off the audio processing on my room right now, I wonder whether you guys will be able to hear the difference. Let me know. I'll just do it now. Turning off, turning off.
Right.
Okay, I have now turned it off.
Well, you need to speak a bit more, I think.
Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2. What you should be hearing is a whole bunch of background noise in my room, even if I'm not speaking, like fans and.
I'm a bad one to speak to because my hearing is bad, but
others in the chat let us know. I'll turn it back on anyway. I shall turn it back on.
Speak up at the back. I mean, yes. So the AI ones are super slick, wonderful, and beautiful, and no mistakes. and they just don't have any feeling. I mean, that's obvious to say as well, isn't it? So yes.
Yeah.
Right. Do we want to do that question that you just put up with?
There you go. Immediate difference on the background. So
there you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. All right. Yes. Let's do this question because it's paid for. So I suppose we better earn our keep, hadn't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Tell us all about high ferritin. Tell us about the whole, give us the gambit on that, Stephen.
Well, you want to read the question out?
All right, then. Are there any comments or contexts, I should say, in which a high ferritin and ApoB reading are a concern? I've eaten mostly beef, butter, and eggs for 3 years, very lean. What, you're lean or the beef, butter, and eggs are lean?
Right. Well, carnivore
invictus. That's how I've got one leg shorter than the other, so I'm always on a lean.
And you're always running around in circles.
That's right.
Right. Ferritin is an acute phase reactant, which people don't often talk about, so they just go straight for the iron overload rubbish. But my first concern would be if it was high, yes, in inverted commas, because what is high? So that would be the context where if you've got a high reading of ferritin and an elevated HS-CRP, which suggests some sort of inflammatory thing, I would say you possibly got inflammation. You may have an infection. That's not the answer you're probably looking for. You're probably looking for an iron overload leaning question. You would need another number. You see, you'd need transferrin saturation, which is often called T-stat. So that would point to potentially iron overload, hemochromatosis, which is definitely something that you could investigate if that was high, in inverted commas. Even with that, you still need more readings, really, because you could look at the transferrin itself, and you could look at serum iron and total iron binding capacity and unbound iron binding capacity to look at all of it if you wanted to. And then you would also have to factor in, sorry, it's a long answer, but it is the answer. You would look at liver enzymes, in particular GGT and ALT. So you would have to look at the whole thing. If I see high ferritin, so don't forget, I did a decade of private blood testing. I really have never said to anybody, wow, this is really concerning, in the context of all the bloods. Right. Yes. So that's it. So that's the first thing. ApoB.
That's topical this week, isn't it?
Yes.
Should we cover that off?
ApoB, don't forget, is the protein attached to LDL. So the first thing is it's leaning on the belief that LDL is a problem, right? So that's the first thing. So if you don't believe that LDL is problematic, and I will quote someone that Bart doesn't like that much, but it's a very good quote. Dave Feldman said that, would your liver really make something that kills your heart? No, of course it wouldn't. My only thing about ApoB, and it's nothing to do with heart issues, is if we could measure glycation rates of ApoB, but then it wouldn't be the lipid that's the problem, it'd still be glycation rates. So not overly worried. I think LP(a) is actually, there's more evidence that being high, in inverted commas, is actually good for you as well, but nobody wants to talk about that. So if we were looking at a lipid panel, if you really, see, I'm not convinced on lipid panels, full stop, but if you are, then I would look at the triglyceride HDL ratio, and even that is not great, but that would put most people's mind at rest. You could then get into images like a CAC or a CT angiogram if you're worried about coronary arteries. But then, is that the thing to look at? Is it better to look at things
or like here's another idea. What you could also do, is you could do a study which is poorly designed, underpowered, and unable by its very design to possibly answer the question that it proposes it's going to. Then you could have a senior author on your paper that just put his name on it because why not, who hasn't read the fucking thing, and publish it, communicate about it extremely poorly in a way that gives our antithesis, the high priests of the Church of Anorexia Vegana, an absolute in to make us all look a bit silly because you're a young and not very wise and not experienced enough in research to actually even know what the hell you're doing. And as part of that, you could publish a bunch of data provided to you by a third party, a company that does AI interpretation of scans, that fuck that up unbelievably.
Yep.
And it looks like on purpose, actually.
Yeah.
And then what you can do after that is go on Ken Berry's program and blame the company that you got that data from for the fact that they gave you false data that you fucking published. Now, some, and I mean you, Dave Feldman, some, and your mates, Nortz, Sotomotor, and the other clown who didn't even read the fucking paper, that's on you. You published data that you didn't even have the skills to collect or check yourself. You believed a third party and you published it. Who's that on? Right, I'm done now. Okay. I think I've been clear about this now.
Yes.
How's that?
Yeah, unleash the hounds was the phrase.
There you go. Release the hounds.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Basically what I've been saying about those three individuals, Dave, Nick, Adrian, pull your fucking heads in, frankly. Who do you think you are? You do not have the experience, skills, or scientific background that is required to do this kind of work at a competent level. Dave has no scientific training. He's a bloody software engineer. The other two both have PhD qualifications, but they are both very young men, very early in their research careers. That's why you need a senior author to look over your shoulder. Budov, they chose. They published their paper, and when Budov was interviewed about what that paper said, because it was so bad, it became very, very clear that he had not fucking read it. Not good enough. So let's all stop lauding these individuals as, oh, they're great, they're doing great things for the community. No, they're not. They're eviscerating us. And they should shut the fuck up. All of them. Right. Okay. Now I'm done. Yes. Let's talk about LDL. My LDL is, my blood pressure is high, apparently. No, it's not really. It's all a bit of an act. My LDL is sky high on a carnivore, and I'm going back to snacking on carbs to lower it. Okay, well, you're in the wrong place. Frankly, you haven't been listening. You haven't been paying any attention, have you?
I think it might be a little bit tongue-in-cheek.
A bit of a joke. A bit of a joke, yeah.
Yeah, Oreo biscuits, yes, lowering it.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Yeah. Oreo biscuits.
Lowered it.
Oh, what are you like? What are you like?
Yes.
Okay? Right. So, just while I'm looking for some more questions, because I know there are some.
There is one from Mr. Beaumont at 612.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get to those in a minute. Let's deal with Operation Fury or whatever it's called, Unbelievable Fury or whatever. You know. Fantastic. Oh, the best attack. It's fantastic. Right. So apparently for those of you who've had your head somewhere warm and moist all week and don't know what's going on, the Americans, with some help from some allies like Israel, for example, have started lobbing munitions into Iran, naughty Iran, apparently. And they've managed in a few short days to completely destroy the Iranian Navy. Apparently, they've destroyed every single one of their vessels. They've taken out a large percentage of the Iranian missile launching facilities, government buildings, police stations, and whatever else in a surgical strike sort of style. And they've managed to kill at least 50, I'm told, of the top echelon of so-called leadership in the soon-to-be former Republic of Iran. It seems, including their supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who apparently has also been killed, along with all the top military generals and one of Khamenei's sons, and all of this. So anyway, that's been going on. So apparently it's been fantastic. It's been the best ever, apparently, according to the Orange Man. It's all about Iran cannot have a bomb, I'm told. They cannot have any bombs. Okay. that's what I've got on that. The other thing that's happening this week is, you know how like Mandy and Andy were arrested like a couple of weeks ago and a week ago, respectively, Andy and Mandy, off the Epstein list, you know, the former prince and former UK ambassador to the US, on charges or suspicion of charges which are touted to have been misconduct in a public office, at least, if not treason. Anyway, 2 weeks has gone past. Crickets.
Yep.
I haven't heard a damn thing about a single charge being laid or any progress on that whatsoever. So what was the point of that? Other than to allay public opinion, perhaps, and to make it look like they're doing something when they're actually fucking not.
Yes.
Maybe.
But
what
I
do you
think,
think, Stephen? While I find questions, go on. You talk.
Well, I think, well, that's all right. That's okay. I'm enjoying your rants tonight. It's very good. You know, on the Iranian situation, don't forget, you know, Iran used to not have the burqa and they used to just look quite westernized, and wasn't long ago, was it less than a month ago, that they turned on their own people? 14,000 Iranians were slaughtered in the streets for having an opposing view to the government. I don't like the way our Western media is talking talking up the Ayatollah, saying he's avuncular, you know, a kindly old man. That's just ridiculous. And then when you look at the news, we have to remember that propaganda is very powerful. And in 1971, I remember there was an orphanage that was bombed, and it was in Pakistan. And it turned out that the Pakistanis had done it themselves, but to garner sympathy. And they just said it was the opposing forces. So that's, you know, that sort of public record. I'm not anti any country, by the way. I'm just saying that seems to be what, you know, is in the public domain. And I don't necessarily mean that I believe that either. I mean, I don't know what to believe when it comes to the legacy media, because they just seem to make it up as they go along. So in that view, I mean, I don't want Iran to be like it is. I don't think it's fair. If the people are rebelling, there should be something to happen there, definitely. As for the arsehole formerly known as Prince, I mean, you're absolutely right. It was a great distraction when the Epstein files came out. But what's happened since? You know, and it's all theatre, and you got Hillary Clinton using every single excuse possible to actually leave the questioning. And she's an absolute competent person at not answering the question. You know, she's very, very good. And sadly, we've got such low quality journalists, they don't know how to ask a question. So they leave gaps where you can jump on any inconsistency and get away from answering the actual question. So I think we're just surrounded by incompetence, lies, and the average person on the street knows this is happening and is possibly frustrated like you are and I am, that it's all a big charade, it's all for optics, and we all know they're guilty as hell, but they get away with it because, you know, they're the same. The two cheeks are the same arse, basically, and it's very frustrating. So there you go.
Tell you who else is very frustrated about being surrounded by incompetence all the time?
Ted. Yes.
I know, Stephen. I know what you're going through with the incompetence. My word, I know. Anyway, I'm going to go and twiddle the knobs.
Yeah, get back down there. Right.
Yes, right. Good point. Yes, right. Let's deal with this. What is the reality of net total carbs on nutrition labels? I'm aware that they can be 20% plus or minus anyway, but this sounds like obfuscation beyond belief.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, total carbs, you know, are they total carbs? But allegedly total carbs would be all the sugars, all the fiber, all the starches, all the sugar alcohols, all of it. And then you take away, don't you, the fiber and the sugar alcohols, and it just is just another way of presenting. There is a lot of background noise there, isn't there? A lot of
is there now?
Yes.
Now you can hear it. That's funny because it's turned on.
Okay.
No, you can't win.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, there's no real legal definition when you look at the food industry. It's just a way of making carbs look lower, and it shouldn't do, because what you're doing is you're taking total carbs and then taking away other carbs to make it look lower. It's absolute rubbish. And you're right about the 20% variance. It is ludicrous. Absolutely. It is beyond belief, as you say. But the whole thing is BS. I mean, it's all designed to be BS. Somebody in the week said to me on one of my Substacks, well, Stephen, how do you answer this? Sugar consumption has reduced in the last 20 years, but we're still getting more obesity and diabetes. Well, I looked up, where does this come from? Sugar consumption has reduced, and it hasn't. What it is they take this narrow definition of sugar, which was sugar added to drinks and high fructose corn syrup, and they looked at consumption of that. But when you look at total carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates, sugar consumption hasn't declined in the last 20 years. It's actually risen by huge amounts. So these things that go around, these phrases like net carbs or sugar consumption has plummeted in the last 20 years. When you look behind the what's presented to you, you do find it's exactly that. It's just obfuscation, as they say. It's easy for me to say, and it's just handy for the useful idiots to hang a handle on. They think it's true, but it's just not. It's just not true.
Okay. Hey, I've just had a look at my settings on StreamYard, which is handling the broadcast. And by default, even though I've turned it off multiple times, by default, it is also applying a noise reduction, echo reduction effect. So that's maybe why you didn't hear a difference when I turned off my... well, let's try it again and see if this makes a difference. Just purely because I'm fascinated.
See, that's very noisy. That's very
right,
noisy.
There you go. Right, so that's what my room actually sounds like. So let's turn it back on. Hello again. How's that?
Yep. That's better by a long way.
There you go. So that's what the AI is doing. It's taking all of that nonsense out so that you can hear my dulcet tones.
Ah, yeah.
And you can clearly hear me say things like, Nick, Adrian, Dave, shut the fuck up. Pull your fucking heads in. Is that clear? Seriously, you're doing more damage than good.
Yes, the study was not handled very well. Or the release of it, actually, was not handled very well.
And the communication about it thereafter.
Yes.
And the fact that they gave the turds from the Church of Anorexia Vegana all the ammunition they needed to fire shots at us, being the sensible community, and make us look like we're the ones that aren't sensible, purely because here are a couple of silly little boys playing in the sandpit with no fucking business doing so. I'm very cross. Can you tell?
I can tell, definitely.
Yeah, I'm over it now.
You are over it, are you? Don't sound like you're over it yet.
Do I look bothered? Do I look bothered?
No.
Good. Do I look bothered?
Have you got any more unacceptable views, or do you want to do another question?
Oh, look, all of my views are unacceptable, apparently. I'm hard right, I'm told, by various people. I'm still looking for a definition of what even the purple fuck that is. What is hard right, Stephen?
I think they're mispronouncing it. I think it means always right.
Ah, yes, of course.
Yes.
Must be that. Oops, report to Ted. Oh, that's the other thing that's going on. The inhuman criminal Clintons testifying and not answering questions for Congress, and they're saying very, very credible things like, Jeffrey who? Don't think I know anyone called Jeffrey.
Yes.
No, I never met the man.
Yeah.
Even though there are like hundreds of photos of you stood right next to the man and his girlfriend. No, I never met him.
Oh, and the girlfriend,
of
course, was at Chelsea Clinton's wedding, wasn't she? She was a guest.
Yes. Like a wedding that 250 people in the world were invited to, a high profile, she just happened to be there as a +1, of course. And we didn't know who she was because we've never met him.
Yeah.
What did you say his name was? Jeffrey? Can't recall.
Terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the other one. Bill Clinton apparently was asked directly, have you ever lied under oath? and he said, no. Oh, the irony. The irony of that.
Yes.
Look, I want to be very clear, Stephen. Let me say this again. I did not lie under oath. Ever, at any point in my life. Even though you just did again. Yeah. Good. Very good.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us all about vitamins K1 and 2. Go on.
Well, let's give you a history lesson. Why is it? The background noise for me is astonishing. It's like you've got somebody mowing the lawn behind you or something. Yeah. Am I the only one?
Maybe the feed that's coming through to you is not going through the correct channels. Maybe you're getting the raw feed and everybody else is getting a cleaned up one. I don't know.
Good. Anyway, right. Why? Firstly, let's get into why is it called K1 and K2? Well, the German scientists that discovered it, coagulation is in German begins with a K, so that's why it's called K1, K2. That's the first thing. Secondly, K1 is primarily involved in blood clotting. No, Rose can hear lots of background noise too, but it's all gone now. It's predominantly found in leafy green vegetables. So yeah, so that was K1. Do we require K1 or only K2? Well, no, I think you don't require only one. K2, obviously, which you can get in MK4 or MK7. I'm a big fan of MK4 because that's found in animal products, and MK7 is in fermented foods. The body uses MK4. Our good friend Harry Sopanos always talks about this.
And a bunch of other things.
Well, yes, he does, doesn't he?
Carry on.
K2, I think it's great. It activates osteocalcin, that and the matrix protein. So that's the thing that stops calcium getting into the soft tissue in your arteries, and it makes sure it gets into the bones. So you probably need both. But K1 probably not that much as K2. K2 is more important, I think. You can add some more to that if you want. I don't know how much you want to know.
No, I think that covers it off pretty well, really. Yeah. The only thing I would say about such things is there is no, like, vitamins and minerals and all of that kind of stuff. Is that on a sensibly or remotely sensibly formulated 100% carnivore diet consisting of the muscle, meat, and associated fat of large ruminant animals to an 80% level or above, there is no need to supplement nutritionally with anything at all. No nutritional supplements. What you do need, however, is some supplements such as these ones, which will encourage your natural renewal and repair system to be optimized, your stem cell renewal and repair system. You can get these wonderful, wonderful products from Coach Stephen, wherever you might be in the world, in 70 plus different countries and territories around the place. All you need to do is go to Coach Stephen. No, that's what he's called online. For Cerule, you go to Online Coach. It's in the ticker tape at the bottom of the screen. Onlinecoach.cerule, CERULE.com. And you will get stem cell enhancing agents, anti-inflammatories to deal with the chronically inflammatory lifestyles that people lead, even carnivores, and a blood flow optimizing agent, all of which you can see right by my right shoulder there, over there. Go and get those. You need them. You don't need nutritional supplements, but you do need those products there. And also, that's a great way of supporting Stephen. The great work he does.
Thank you.
No, that's fine. I'll send you the bill.
That's good.
And you can tell me to do what a duck can't do.
Okay.
Stick your bill up your arse.
Yeah, I know. I knew it.
I was just spelling it out for the Americans because they're not too sharp.
Okay.
I'm kidding. We love you all, Americans. Yeah.
Okay.
Rightio. ChatGPT is absolutely brilliant. No, it isn't. It's as dumb as fuck. You just have to use it correctly. No, that's not an excuse for something being as dumb as fuck. It needs to be, if it's something is brilliant, then it doesn't, a dumbass can use it and get the right answers, can't it? Use it as a super intelligent entity. Well, it's fucking not that. Intelligence requires you to be discerning and critical. Mindlessly repeating things or applying a set of rules without any kind of discretion whatsoever is not intelligence. It's stupidity. I clicked on a video last night just as an example of this, and it said, is this the most intelligent person in the world? And it was a story about a young man who became a professor of mathematics at a very young age in his early 20s. No, he's not the most intelligent person in the world. He's able to do mathematics. That's not a sign of intelligence. It's a sign of following a set of rules.
Yes.
Anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
Smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. If you see maltodextrin labeled in a product, they use that because it's a polysaccharide and doesn't have to be labeled as sugar, which is funny because it is a sugar.
Yes.
Still.
Yeah,
because polysaccharide. Saccharide is the giveaway, isn't it? Sugar.
Yes. And that's another one that came up in my Substack as not counted in sugar consumption. Maltodextrin is not counted. Wow, how many things have basically, got maltodextrin in the modern world? I mean, just tons and tons. It's incredible, isn't it? It's absolutely incredible.
Yep.
So,
all right, $50 from the Feral Grandma. We love you, Feral Grandma, with your $50. So we do. And I'm just going like this so Stephen can see my lips move.
Oh yes, it's thank you very much.
Otherwise,
very kind of you.
Right. So I recently saw a discussion, Ken Berry and some doctor I don't know. Okay. They spoke on a number of things, including a molecule we produce during fasting. Awesome. That seems to reduce the incidence. That should be CE, incidence, not incidents, of additional strokes. There we go. See, I can't help myself. I'm an academic. I have to correct spelling and grammar. Is there more information to be had? There's always more information to be had if you know where to look, Feral Grandma. That's not something I'm particularly expert in myself. I haven't looked at it recently. What do you know about that, Stephen, if anything?
Well, what's the molecule?
I don't know.
That they were talking about.
I don't know. I didn't see that discussion between Ken Berry and some doctor, whoever that was.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Well, that's something we could look up at some point. When was it? Some doctor. Do we know what doctor?
No, didn't say.
Oh,
come on, Grandma.
No, what's the molecule? Give us the molecule, and then we'll be all right, won't we?
Yeah, well,
perhaps. Yeah, I think that will help, and then we can talk about the molecule because there are so many different guesses about what happens. Guesses is the best word I can think of, to be absolutely honest with you. We'd need to know. So otherwise, we're just speculating. Anyway, right. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to read the next one?
Go on in. If you have problems with oxalate dumping and low vitamin B6 levels, a high-fat carnivore diet can lead to calcium soaping, and that can increase the oxalate problem. Can calcium citrate help?
Yes. Well, Volker, this is definitely something I will speak to you about because I think you want to do an interview. Have you spoken to Volker?
I haven't. No.
Oh, he's a great guy. Yes, and I think this is one of the things he's hooked into. Yes, I mean this is quite nuanced, really. So, and I mean, I had oxalate dumping out of my eye. I was actually a skeptic about it until I had it. So when you transition to carnivore, you start to offload oxalates. And like I say, I think that's a real thing because it happened to me and it's happening to a lot of people. And B6, as you mentioned, is a cofactor in breaking down oxalate in the liver. And yes, you can have this calcium soaping thing happen where your dietary calcium is binding to fatty acids rather than oxalate. So it's a lot of ifs and buts, a lot. But if you believe that is a problem, then yes, potentially calcium citrate would be helpful, definitely. But I think I'd like to know a lot more about it, really, because it everyone that talks about it is very sort of theoretical. I don't know if you've come across it, but it does seem like, yeah, sort of mechanistically it sort of makes sense, but I'm not 100% certain that I even see anyone with the clinical presentation of this problem.
Okay, right. Nothing to add to that, really. Yeah, I think that's all very fascinating stuffs.
Was it a boring answer then?
No, not at all. I mean, you just covered it. There's nothing that I would add to what you said. It's covered off. And oxalate dumping is a real problem. And yes, citrate is known to assist with oxalate dumping. Oxalate dumping for me is one of those band-aid issues. It's you either rip it off fast or you rip it off slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very own. What are your thoughts on creatine supplements? There you go. There's an original question. We've never heard that one before.
Right. Well, let's roll out all the things that we always hear. Yes, it's the most studied supplement, I think, in the world, and it helps with hydration, so it makes your muscles look bigger when you take it. If you're eating a species-appropriate diet, as Bart said earlier, and I'm going to expand on it again, you probably don't need any supplements. The word supplement is exactly it. If you have a problem, if you feel that you need something, the feedback from your body isn't saying you need a supplement. It's saying, here's some feedback. There's something in your diet that's deficient. That's how I prefer to look at it. So if you are, let's say, a bodybuilder, as Jonathan's in the room, right? So let's say Jonathan suddenly went, I am not gaining any muscle, right? Well, what's your first answer? Is it a supplement, or is it, well, hang on, Jonathan, are you eating enough protein? Are you working out hard enough? Are you hydrating properly? So all stuff all about nutrition. And Jonathan, being clever, wouldn't say, well, I've not even thought about that. I'm just looking at a supplement, because what you're doing is you're literally saying the diet is deficient, so therefore I'm going to take a supplement.
Yeah.
So yes, you can take it. Yes, some people feel it benefits them. I think for a lot of people, it is the fact that it helps with the retention of water and hydration. But if you're having problems with hydration, that's probably because you're drinking too much pure water and not enough mineral water. So, there you go.
Cool. All right, awesome. There's a bunch of people talking about potential cognitive benefits as well, and I'm like, well, maybe.
Well, yeah.
I'm not sure of the mechanism, but.
Well, I don't think that there is a mechanism to it.
I don't buy it in terms of mechanistically. I don't buy it. But if somebody takes something and they feel like they get smarter as a result of that, well, who am I to say you're not?
That's my exactly.
Yeah. I see what I did there.
I did. Yeah. Yes.
Right.
But you see, I'm not anti the placebo effect. You see, if the placebo works, great.
Yeah.
You know. So I did medical acupuncture. I did that years ago when I was doing rehab, and that's well researched. And that's actually in Asia, they actually use it during surgery for pain relief. Now you can't fake surgery not hurting you. So people don't have that willpower. So the medical acupuncture either worked or the placebo of the medical acupuncture worked. Either way, it worked. As you just said, you can't deny that experience. Somebody cuts into your skin and you don't go, ouch. Something's working to reduce that pain, right? And some people only have the medical acupuncture, right? So I think when you look at pharmaceutical companies and they do their testing on all their drugs, they always prove that placebo works, because they'll have a control group, a placebo group, and they'll say 50% in the group of interest, 50% saw a reduction in symptoms. In the placebo, it was only 35%. Right, okay, well, 35% of people thought they got a benefit. So you've just scientifically proven there is a thing called placebo. So to me, I think that's sort of an interesting area. I know as a scientist, Bart, it's probably not great to hear when we're talking about this, but I do think it is something we need to consider, the power of the person thinking this is going to work, because I do think that makes a difference. If you go into something thinking this is going to do it for me, I think there's more chance it will.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's a problem for a scientist, a real scientist who understands that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
There you go. What are your thoughts on elemental iodine then, love?
Oh boy, can I broaden this out?
Go on in. I know you want to.
Well, iodine or iodine, depending on where you live. The first thing I would do is have an iodine clearance test if you're worried about iodine, because that will tell you whether your body is deficient or not. And I think that's a good starting point. It's no good just thinking I've got symptoms of thyroid problems, uncontrolled weight gain or weight loss, heat or cold or whatever, fatigue or being frazzled, not being able to sleep, all those things, which could be thyroid related, brain fog, everything. Let's work out if you actually are iodine deficient before even talking about supplementation, because it might not be iodine. It could be other things. It could be selenium. It could be you're not eating enough fat. It could be that you're not eating enough protein. It could be many, many things. So I would do that first. So all that is you take a prescribed amount of iodine, and over 24 hours, they collect your urine, and then they see what you excrete. And if you excrete a certain percentage of what you've just ingested, then that implies that you're not deficient. And that's a great test. And then when you get to that level, you can then supplement. So if you look at an elemental iodine, so something like Lugol's solution, for instance, if you're using a pipette, that isn't really going to cut it for me, because you can get very varied, dosage. So I'm a big fan of potassium iodide. So iodine, when it enters your physiological pH, it becomes iodide anyway. So you're saving the body a little bit. So potassium iodide is a really good way of taking iodine, because it is a precise dose, and because it comes in small doses, the amount of supplements you take throughout the day can be very nuanced and really much more beneficial than the drops, I think. But the first thing is test, don't guess. And secondly, I would use a tablet because the dosing is much more precise. But I go back to the original answer. I'm sounding like the politician at the Prime Minister's question. I refer to an answer I gave previously, in that it's possibly better to look at the diet, and is that deficient in iodine? So are you having any seafood or, seaweed or something like that? Because I had somebody that was absolutely religiously taking iodine and not getting any benefits. They went to a simple protocol of 4 sardines in the morning, every morning, and all their thyroid issues went away. All went away. Now, nothing beats personal experience like that. They won't have to do that for the rest of their life, because once you start making the thyroid produce its hormone, it can store up to 50 days worth. So you're not always going to have to eat every single morning 4 sardines. But if you've got a deficit and your thyroid's running on, vapors, and you can't even produce one day's thyroid hormone, it can take a little while to build up. But once it's built up, you can just have sardines once a week, like 4 sardines once a week, and you're going to be fine. But it's like with anything, like with pharmaceuticals, you sort of do the mega dose at the beginning to get you where you need to be, and then you can dial back.
Maintenance, yeah. All right. Interesting one here. Does cow's milk have both N15 and N14 found in stable isotopes? Is it possible that the N14 present in the collagen in the anthropological records wasn't from plants, but indeed was from dairy?
I don't know the answer to that. That's a great question. Do you know?
Okay. I can speculate that it's very unlikely that any amount of N14 really would be attributable to dairy in the ancient anthropological records prior to the Agrarian Revolution, on the basis that prior to the Agrarian Revolution, we were not domesticating animals and collecting their lactations, it would seem. So I would suggest not. How's that?
It's a good question.
It is. We like it, Mr. Beaumont. 666.
Mr. Beaumont, He does like to stretch us, I think.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Hey.
Hey, boom.
Yes.
Yeah, we had to get one in, didn't we? That's also what she said.
Yeah.
She said many things.
She did, didn't she?
Yeah,
Yes.
including, oh God, when are you ever going to shut the fuck up? She said that once or twice too.
Did she really?
Yeah. Yes, she really did. More than once. Anyone who knows Pim will know that that would be an accurate statement about what she said once. Yeah. All right. So Jonathan thinks that if there is a mechanism of cognition and creatine, it's to do with the AMP kinase pathway, which, okay, fine. That works for me.
That's interesting, Jonathan. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Anything that can be done for poor histamine tolerance. Unable to handle any canned fish without breaking out in pimples. Well, the first thing I would say is don't eat canned fish.
Yes.
It's like, doctor, it hurts when I go like that. Well, fucking don't.
Yeah. Well, you could look at...
Go on. No, you go.
Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say there are a number of things that a person can do to help with histamine intolerance, and Stephen's going to tell you all about them.
Okay. Right. There's 3 ways of looking at this. One is inputs. So you minimize the inputs that are producing histamine. So simple, practical things are fresh meat. If you have got meat that you're not going to cook straight away, put it in the freezer rather than the fridge. And then when you're going to cook it, take it out of the freezer and cook it once it's thawed out. So that would be quite good. Then once you've eaten it, make sure that it is cooked, not slow cooked, but more sort of flash fried. That can help as well. Slow cooking can produce more histamine. And lastly, you have a thing called diamine oxidase, which is the thing that degrades histamine that your body produces naturally. You can look at supplements, right? DAO, but I'm not being hypocritical because you can also look at food that has DAO in it. So, for instance, something like kidney. So you could introduce kidney, not my favorite. Yes, you pulled a face, I pulled a face. My wife tonight, we had some big ground beef and she put some liver in it, chopped it all up and added some bacon. But I knew what she was doing and I said, I can still taste the liver. But if
what are you doing, Blondie? What are you doing?
So you can eat kidney in a nice way. You can disguise it if you don't really like it. But that would be the way I would look at it. I would minimize the inputs. I would make sure the cooking matches the lowest histamine, producing style of cooking. And then I would also look at trying to add some kidney, or if you don't like the kidney, add the supplement DAO. But I'm not being inconsistent because I'm saying that you could try and get it from food, but sometimes the food that's got the DAO is not to people's liking. So that would be the second option, which is where supplements fall into. Sometimes you don't like the food, but the food is the thing. And I think you can get to like kidney.
Yeah. How are you for time today, Stephen?
I've got 7 minutes.
All right. Okay. In this case, we'll rattle through a few things quickly. Can carnivores cure AF? Yes, it depends, however, on what the cause of the AF was in the first place. And it depends on your genes and the environment in which you place those genes at any given time. It's a rich tapestry, very difficult question to answer. Thank you very much. Next question. At what age could I start using cereal products? What minimum age? There's no minimum, anytime you like. Especially the stem enhancer, plasma flow, and the hardcore one, essentially the 3 that you primarily promote. Yes, you can take them at any age. There's no minimum to start. People say, well, if I'm young and fit and beautiful and healthy, why do I need those? To which my answer is, well, how long would you like that to continue? So, yes, everybody should be on this. Hey, here's the thing I've said more than once, and I'll say it again today. I think every single human being on this planet should take these 3 products over my shoulder here on a daily basis. But I don't think you should pay for them. I think you should get them for free. How do they get them for free, Stephen?
Well, they become an IBO, which is an independent business owner, where not only do they try them themselves, but they also recommend them to friends and family. And your friends and family can get benefit from it, and you will earn a little bit from that sale. And therefore, in the end, your supplements will be free.
Yes, that's part of the answer. Very good. The full answer on how they get them for free, absolutely, is if you are an IBO, an independent business owner, as Stephen correctly identified, and you have a wellness pack of those 3 products there, those ones, on subscribe and save on a monthly repeat order, and you have 3 personally introduced retail customers who want the benefits of those products, but they don't want to be involved in that thing you're in, we let them be retail customers. We get 3 of those, and then the company says, because you've got 3 retail customers that you personally introduced, we won't charge you for yours anymore. We'll give it to you for free every month. Bloody fabulous, isn't it? So,
yes.
you know, are we trying to get our long arms into your short pockets? No. We just want you to take this product because it is what it says it is, and it does what it says it does, and you need it. And we don't want you to pay for it. We want you to become an IBO and earn it for free with very little effort to speak of. ABC, auntie, brother, cousin. Probably not your auntie, brother, or cousin because they know you. Frankly, so the problem I have with trying to sell anything to my family, including what's the right diet and things. They don't, you know, someone as credible and brilliant and intelligent as me, they go, oh, you're all right, Baldy. Right then, you know, whatever, you can't win. Right. Anyway, this all business, Stephen, that we're promoting that people get involved in, it sounds like a pyramid.
Does it?
It's one of those pyramid schemes, isn't it?
Well, not really. Well, actually, when you look at everything's a pyramid scheme. You look at Amazon, right? Amazon, you know, basically they buy from a producer, don't they? And that producer earns some money, and then the driver that takes it, or the courier takes it from one place to another, earns some money, and then it goes to the distribution center, and they earn some money there. Yeah. Wow, hang on a minute. This sounds very like a multi-level marketing exercise. And then the customer buys something, and then another delivery company has to deliver it to the customer, and then there's a profit margin that goes back to Amazon, and they pay all those people below them, and thus you have a multi-level marketing scheme.
Love it. Multi-level marketing. Here's the thing about a business like Cerule, though, that people seem to miss. Often when people say to me, oh, that's one of those pyramid schemes, though, I say, oh, what do you do for a living? And they say, I work for XYZ company. I say, great. Why does that company employ you? So they can make some money out of my efforts and pay me a portion of what I produce. Of course. Well, that's a pyramid scheme. Because if they paid you what you were worth, they'd have no benefit in paying you what you're worth. Whereas in the Cerule business, Stephen, who was introduced to the Cerule business by yours truly, this bad bald man, he pays the same price for his product that I do. He's on the same remuneration schedule that I'm on. I earn nothing directly from Stephen whatsoever. The company pays me an override for what he does. It doesn't come out of Stephen's pocket. So what's your problem?
Everyone wins as well. That's the other thing.
Yes, every child wins a prize, including this one. Yeah. Yes, they do, don't they? Anyway, we better say goodbye to Stephen because he's all out of time. Ha, ha, ha. Go and twiddle the knobs, Ted, for goodness sake.
Yes.
So, yeah. All right.
Would you like me to set aside a longer time then? Because I've always been a person that does like about an hour. But I can do longer.
Would we like a longer one? That's what she said. Yeah, absolutely. We can do an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't care. I'm easy.
All right. Okay. Let me factor that in because I do feel like I'm just warming up, but I don't want to impede on your time, so I know I have consults and stuff.
Oh, speaking of which, my time next Wednesday. It looks like Al Reeves has got in and booked me at the same time as we would normally do our weekly chat because I haven't blocked it out.
That's okay.
So we'll talk to Al Reeves next Wednesday morning, my time, Tuesday evening, your time. What we can do, Stephen, is we can actually have a chat either before or after that. If it's beforehand, it's probably only going to be an hour because I don't want to get up much earlier than 6 in the morning. Or we can do it after that. I'll talk to Al for an hour and then we're on for as long as you like. But it'll just be an hour later your time. So.
No, I think what we'll do is we'll skip a week. I'll have a week away.
All right.
Let that happen.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, doesn't it?
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Yes.
All right. And then what I'll do going forward from there is I'll block out this time on a Wednesday morning so that it's just us.
Okay.
Because I think these people mad bastards in the chat.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I'm all for being fair, and if someone's booked in, they've booked in, so that's fine.
That was my fault because I didn't block it out, and I did tell them, I have one UK friendly time slot during the week. It's on a Tuesday evening your time. He's nabbed it. There's my alarm telling me to wake up. I'm already awake.
I've been asleep for the first 30 minutes, I think. So yeah, but I've woken up now, and no, it's always good, Bart. It is always good. And I quite like the unacceptable views thing. And boy, I mean, we could do an hour without any nutrition science in this whatsoever, although that's an oxymoron, by the way. But we could...
like most people do on their channels.
The world is going crazy. It is going crazy. And I'm now getting consults where people are telling me their personal situation, and I'm just shaking my head thinking, I can't believe that there are actually people in their family that are completely brainwashed. And I think it's really frightening. I really do. That we are denying absolute fact. So, for instance, if a woman is breastfeeding, right, there is backflow from the baby, and the baby tells the mother whether it's a boy or a girl. That's a fact. It's a biological fact. So the composition of the breast milk is changed, whether it's a boy or a girl. That's for fact, a biological fact. So you've got chromosomes. They are biological facts. The skeleton, biological facts. There's one or t'other, but wow, it's just crazy. Sorry. Am I making your head explode?
Are we having these bigots on? Goodness gracious. Are you suggesting that there are two choices, male or female?
Yeah, I think I am. Wow.
My word. Yeah.
You better get rid of me, eh?
Of the world. Write to us quickly. Dear idea. Oh boy.
Right.
All right.
Anyway,
it's been a pleasure, Stephen, as ever. I won't sing the song because we don't have the music, and I won't subject you to my a cappella version.
Okay.
You can all imagine. You know what the song, you know how it goes and what you should have for breakfast by now. And if you don't, you've been in the wrong place. Join Stephen and I 2 weeks hence in a fortnight.
Yeah.
When it will be fucking freezing out here by then. Properly. I shall be frigid. I shall have icicles on my bicycles and hanging off my nose and stuff.
Would it freeze the balls off a brass monkey?
Oh my God. It gets down to like minus 12 or 13 here in the winter.
Do you want to know where that phrase comes from?
Yeah, I know the story, but you can tell us.
Okay, well, the brass monkey was the thing that used to keep the cannonballs on the boats, on the ships, the Admiralty. And if it was very cold, those cannonballs would shrink, and therefore they'd come off the brass monkey. There you go.
That's right. Lovely. All right.
I like stuff like that.
All right, join us in 2 weeks. But stick around the channel because there's other things happening as well. People will be wrong on the interwebs. I'll make some videos about that during the week, I'm sure. We'll probably have young Lisa back because you all thought she was pretty good. And I knew that she was going to be. She was, for an 18-year-old, incredible, actually, at this stage in terms of knowledge and all of that. Yeah. And cool. We'll see you all then. All right. Ciao for now.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Right. Ciao.